What's up, guys? I'm gonna be finishing some copper pieces today. If you joined me yesterday, you seen me pouring the pieces. Today I'm gonna finish them up a little bit. So hopefully you can see where I'm working right here. Yeah, that's pretty good. That off. This guy on. All right, let me know if there's anybody in the chat. Just smoothing out the bottoms of these pieces, cleaning up the edges. Getting them to look nice and pretty. All right, so there's the little baby dragon that I made. I'm just finishing up these edges, smoothing out the backs, getting it ready to put in the tumbler. So if you have any questions, I poured this yesterday, you can ask me. I'll glance at the chat when I can. See what the back looks like before I sand it and afterwards. pretty good. Let me just get this chat here. Messages. All right, Big Country Scrapper, what's happening? Just finishing up some pieces today. Little baby dragon. $949. What's going on? So I'm sitting at the table here. Here's the back of it before I sand it down. I'm gonna clean up the edges. Pretty good. Getting the edges all nice and cleaned up. Coming along. Every time I want to look at the chat, I got to get up. Thanks, brother. I also have the furnace heating up. Gonna be pouring a little more today. There's your dragonfly. I already cut the sprues off and sanded those down. You didn't need to see that. Now this is the rough sanding. I go back over the whole thing with the finer grit. Just taking all the imperfections out, getting it smoothed out. Like I said, you gotta love every part of the process. All right, so that's the first sanding. It's looking pretty good. Move on to the next piece. Here's that one dragon. Good. There's the back of it all cleaned up. The front, even got the tail. Looks good. Now we'll do this dragon head. On another sanding disc. Yeah, go have some breakfast. Good. Take off a little bit of the flashing. Piece looks pretty good. Back of it. It's gonna be a nice chunky piece. I will do this, clean up this last one. Looks good. All the rough spots are out. The back sanded. And now we move on to the second sanding. Get this off. What am I looking for here? There we go. Now this is going to, with the second sanding, it's going to bring it out to a higher shine on the edges, get rid of all the rough marks. Then we're going to put it in the tumbler. Nice shine now. Edges are all cleaned up. That one's ready for the tumbler. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit it. I would appreciate it. all cleaned up. Get better up there. All cleaned up. Ready to go in the tumbler. Here we go. Another one ready for the tumbler. Do one more and then we'll get the tumbler going. All right, there's a baby dragon. Pretty cute little piece. Back's all done. That one's ready for the tumbler too. All right, so I'm gonna bring the tumbler over. Can you see this? Put a little special sauce in there. There we go. And we're going to toss these 4 pieces. The dragonfly, the small winged dragon, dragonfly, this dragon with the heart, and the baby dragon. We're all gonna go in. Gonna let these tumble for a couple hours. Let's take you over to the tumbler. Come on. And they're starting to tumble. So those pieces, these pieces are all finished. They're ready to go in the tumbler next. And like I said, we have some metal heating up over here. And we're gonna start doing some pieces. The metal's just about heated up. Still got a few more minutes to go. But I think we can start setting up some of these flasks. So let me get my gloves on. Or if you're just jumping on, I'm sand casting today. I got a decent size order I got to fulfill. And we're going to get started. You guys can see that okay? You tilt her down a little bit. There we go. Right in the center. So stick around if you've never seen sand casting before. That's what I'm doing. I know the camera may be a little shaky because I got you on this table. Is what it is. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm just going to get started. I'll pop up and look at the chat. But I appreciate you being here on this wonderful Sunday morning. We're going to do another one of those dragons and hearts. This customer picked out 8 different pieces and they want 2 of each. So we're going to do this dragon and heart again. That's just going to fit. Maybe I should do it this way. There we go. All right, let me press this into the sand. There we go. So kind of multitasking today, pouring, finishing. Got to get this order done within the next couple days. So if you see something you like, just reach out to me, send me an email. My email is in the About Me page on my YouTube channel. And I do sell all my pieces. I'm very reasonable. I just enjoy when one of my pieces finds a home in somebody's collection. Makes it all worthwhile. There it is. Now we're going to cut the sprue in. That's where the metal flows into the pattern. And we're going to cut some vent lines. There we go. Number one down. Let's check the metal. All right, she's melting up nice. I'm going to add a couple more pieces. We'll get on to the next one. Small winged dragon. So we got to do another one of these dragons. And a nice there we go. Go right like that. We press her in. Good to go. Just a little bit more. She's being stubborn. She's being stubborn on me. That might do it. There she is. All right. Got her in. Let's cut the sprue. Perfect. This one clamped up and ready to go. Number 3. Just gonna hold on 1 minute. I'm gonna put some more copper into the furnace. All right, we'll get going with the next piece. 4 people watching. Hit the like button. are we making now? We're gonna make, we got that one. Dragon, our baby dragon. Dragon with skull, winged dragon. Which one? Let's see. We gotta make this one. Press her down. All right, got her in there. So if you're just jumping on, I'm pouring some copper today, sand casting. And about another 5 minutes or so, we'll probably be pouring the copper. Got one more flask to fill. I like to do 4 pieces at a time. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. There she is. Looks good. Is there any rule as to where to put the vents? Yeah, you want to think about where you want to put the vents. And the more detailed piece, you really, if it's high relief like this piece, you can't put too many vents in. Okay, the only thing that's going to do is increase your cleanup time. Cutting off the vents and sanding them down. But you want to put your vents in areas, and I'll show you on this piece, where they're going to be easy to clean. And I'll show you in just 1 minute. Let me cut the sprue on this side. Now, for a piece like this, I'm going to put the vents like at the tips of the horns, because that's real easy. Just clip them right off and they're basically cleaned up. I'm not going to, I'll put one right at the tip of this horn, and this one's real close over here, but I'm not going to put it like between these 2 points right here. I'm not going to put one right there because that's going to be difficult to get a pair of pliers in. That's going to be a difficult area to sand. So if I wanted to put a vent, I would put it off of the tip, not between two pieces. Now I'm going to flip around. I'm going to put some off of the tips on this side, one in the middle here. I'll put it off of the tip of the mouth, and I'll put one over here. Now, you see me, you know, I'll dig out a little bit of my vent line towards the end, and there's a reason for that. Now, a lot of people, they'll make their vent line, then they'll take a toothpick and they'll stick it right through the entire sand. So if you can picture, when you're pouring the hot metal in here, it's filling up this cavity and it's pushing air and gases out the vent lines. So it's going to push it down this line and into this cavity. It's going to give it more room. Okay, it's going to give it more room for the air to, for someplace for it to go. And that's another reason why someone takes a toothpick and stick it all the way through. It gives the air more room than just this tiny little line. Now, don't get me wrong, that tiny little line is usually sufficient. And I say usually because sometimes it's not. That's why I add that little cavity at the end. So hopefully that answered your question. All right, that one's done. We got one more. Let me put a little more copper in. It's going pretty good. Okay, we got one more to do. No problem, 949. No problem. It is a cool hobby to get into. It's not as easy as it looks. It's going to take practice. You know, if you start, don't give up, because it does get easier once you learn some of the different methods. And anything you practice, you know, it gets better over time. I mean, mine started out as a hobby, and now it's a small business. You know, I do probably at least 20 pieces a week that I make and sell, sometimes more. And I have regular customers that keep coming back again and again, which is cool. Some of them buy the pieces and resell them, which is also cool. I mean, I don't mind that one bit. Like I said, my prices are very reasonable. And if people are reselling them and making something, then I know my prices are reasonable. And I got you down on the to-do list 949 for the Silver Thor's hammer. Okay. I'm going to be making another dragonfly. That'll I believe that'll complete this guy's order. My doggo's in the background howling, whining actually. All right, let's press this into the sand. Looks good. And if you're going to start doing this, I mean, you got to get all the supplies, the right supplies, the flasks. You know, this is a larger flask where I can do, you know, larger pieces and odd shaped pieces. I actually have somebody making me a an even larger one, so that'll be pretty cool when it's done, because I have some long pieces that I want to make. I just don't have a flask that will fit it. I've made myself wooden flasks, and as you can imagine, they don't last long. They get burnt up pretty quick. So I found somebody that can really good at welding, and he's going to weld me up a larger metal flask. So after I'm done pouring these, you already seen part of the process of sanding down, you know, the rough spots and then sanding them again. I have 4 of them in the tumbler right now, so after I finish pouring these, we'll pop them out of the tumbler, we'll see what they look like, and see if they need any more sanding. If they don't, then we'll just move right on to the antiquing process, which is kind of cool. And then you'll get to see a finished product. So stick around and you'll get to see the full transformation. There's a dragonfly. Got a little chunk right there, but that's okay. That can get cleaned up. Not a problem. Again, with the vent lines, I'm going to do them off the tips of the wings. Easy cleanup. Do one off the tip of the tail. Make a little extra area for that to go. Before you put them together, you want to make sure there's no random piece of sand and that there's nothing blocking the sprue. All right. Getting ready to pour. And this one. Very cool. Okay. Now, if you remember from yesterday, you got to heat up your flask. You can see the moisture leaving. See it? This metal holds some moisture, I'll tell you. Look at that. Now, if you pour that molten metal in here, it's just going to pop. It's going to be little beads of molten metal flying around. Stick around, we'll be pouring in another minute. All right, time to glove up. Time to get pouring. Here we go, my friends. We got fire. Look at that. That just tells me that it went all the way down. It used the vent lines. And the piece is gonna come out good. That little flame will go out in a minute. There she goes. Cooling down. Goes from a red to a gray. Let them cool it down for another second. This one leaked a little bit out the bottom, but that'll be flashing. You'll be able to take that right off with a pair of pliers. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Get my tools. All right. Oh, so you remember what I told you about the burn? There it is. You can see the burn right there. The burn tells it all. This one looks good. It's got the tail again, which is always a hard piece to get when I pour this. There we go. Looks good. All right, this one is the Dragonfly. Also looks like it came out very nice. Clean it up a little bit. There is the Dragonfly. Cooler down. Look at that. Captured all the detail. And you can see right at the tip there, that's one of the vent lines. So I know it's working. Now this one here, this next one, I seen it kind of dripped out the bottom a little bit, so it's probably going to be some flashing. And yes, there is. But not a big deal. That stuff is so thin, it comes right off. There she is. See, this is the flashing down below. I'll show you how to get that off real quick. But that came out nice. Detail of the Dragon was phenomenal. We'll cool her down. We're gonna let this sit on the side for a minute. We'll get right back to this one and we'll get that flashing off. One of the keys to the flashing is before it fully cools down, you know, get the flashing off. Get it off while the metal's still warm and it comes right off. Yeah, baby, look at that. High relief dragon head. Cool her down. Very cool. Got the horns. Very nice. All right, so you can see how fast these cool down. I mean, I'm holding it now. And the flashing, it just wants to come right off. Take it, couple little twists. There you go. She's off. Flashing's off, sand it down, good to go. Now, if you let that dry, it's going to be, if you let it harden, it's going to be that much harder to get it off. So, good to go. Even with some of these sprues, you know, when it's still not fully hardened, you can break them right off. And you just sand it down. See if we can do another one. No, that one's too soft. Nope. That one's too thick. Some of them you can break right off, some of them you can't. Not a big deal. So, we're going to clean this up a little bit, and then we're going to move on, take the pieces out of the tumbler. This will only take a minute. But if you clean up as you go, when you're done, you can just walk away and enjoy your day. That burnt sand is useless now. Last one. Just cleaning these up. I don't know if you're just hopping on, but I'm pouring some copper today. We just poured 4 pieces. And earlier we were finishing some pieces. We're going to get back to that. Show you the antiquing process, which when copper is antiqued, it looks amazing. All right. Cleaned up. Where's my paper towel go? There we go. Cool. All right, 14 watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Much appreciated. I'm going to take you over to the other table, and we're going to a little bit of a mess over here. See if we can clean it up a little bit for you. Finishing some pieces earlier. All right, I can take the gloves off. We're gonna take these out of the tumbler. Bring my water over here. Let's get everything set up here. What else do I need? All right, let's take these out of the tumbler. Let's see what they look like. I usually leave them in there for a couple hours, but I want to see what they look like. I'm sure so do you guys. Clean it in the water. Now look how clean and shiny that is now. Pretty copper. Little baby dragon. All right, let's get the other ones out. Nice dragon. Tell you, when you tumble them, they get cleaned up and they turn that bright coppery color. They just look awesome. But we're gonna make them look even better. There's the dragon and heart. What do you guys think? All right, we got one more in here. The dragonfly. There's the dragonfly. It's got the cool details on the wings. And now we're going to antique them. Once we, what else? We're going to be putting these pieces that we did earlier, we're going to be putting these in the tumbler now. So let's get them in. They can sit in there for a while. All right, we got them tumbling away. Okay, don't go anywhere. I gotta go fill this up with hot water, and it's gonna take me a minute. All right. All right, I'm back. We got the hot water. Now, what you do for the antiquing process, you take some liver of sulfur, you put it in the hot water. and mix it up. And it smells like rotten eggs. Now you're going to take your pieces that you just took out of the tumbler and drop them in. You're going to let them sit in there for a few minutes. And I'll show you what they look like when you take them out. It only takes a couple minutes. The copper is having a chemical reaction right now with the liver of sulfur. You take them out, you immediately clean them in cool water, and that's what they look like when you take them out. Pretty much black. It does not take long, and the key is the hot water. So let me get them all out. All out. Dry them off. All right. We got them out. That's the way they look. It went from a bright copper color to almost a black. We're going to fix that. This is the antiquing process. Such a cute little dragon there. All right, I think we're going to start with the little dragon. You're going to want to get some fine steel wool. Want to make sure that you do all the edges. And I'm doing this pretty quick for you. I'll probably end up going back and doing some more. I'm very particular before I let a piece go. right, let's take a look at this piece. Now look at that. How awesome does that look? Makes all the details pop. Really gives you a nice finish. Very cool, right? All right, let's put this one aside and we'll do another one. Let's do the dragonfly. All right, dragonfly. How cool is that? Makes the wings pop. Nice chunky piece. Beautiful. You got that copper color back. And let's do this. We'll look at the dragon before. All dark. Like I said, I may go over these pieces again. Doing them pretty quick for you. All right. There she is. Got that nice copper goodness again. All the details pop once you antique it. And we got one more to go. Last piece. Look at that. Really came out nice. And I'm sure I'm going to buff these up a little more. Just trying to give you the basic idea of the antiquing process. So we'll go through these last pieces that we just finished. Of course, the dragon and the heart. We have this beautiful winged dragon. Dragonfly. And a little baby dragon. Very cool. So guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. And get to work on these other ones, cutting these sprues off. Another dragon. The ones we just poured. Start sanding these down. And getting this order done. Now, if you like anything, reach out to me. Send me an email. My email's in the about section on YouTube. Diddler Jargies, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think they came out pretty cool. These are the ones we just did today. So they got a long ways to go before they're finished. But these are the finished product, antiqued. Probably weighs, I would say, probably weighs about 4 ounces or so. A cute baby dragon. And we'll give you a side-to-side comparison. This is freshly poured, and this one's finished. So this one will come out just as nice as this finished one. All right, guys, I'm going to rock and roll, get out and enjoy the rest of the day. I do appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, and sub to my channel. It'll be much appreciated. And we'll see you the next time down at the pouring station. This is Will from Will's Treasures. You guys have a great day.